Hey friends, welcome to the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. I hope you guys have had a good month. It's been a whole month. I feel out of practice. I was like bringing all the little things up here to get ready to film or record, and I was just like, oh dear. This is gonna be all over the place today. So that's fun. So yeah, I have been traveling, and so that is why this is late. I actually got home last Friday, so I actually debated filming on Saturday, but that was kind of my let's break the jet lag, let's get all the things done. And my brain was not functioning well. I also felt like I didn't have a lot of knitting to share. And so I figured if I give it a week, I'll have more stuff to talk about. So I have quite a bit of knitting to talk about, actually. I've also been, like I said, I've been traveling. My parents had their 40th anniversary this year, and originally they had planned to take a trip to Rome together. And they'd never been to Rome. They've only ever been overseas with me. Still. But yeah, so their plan was Rome, and I love Rome, and so I was like, oh, I wish I could come with you. And that turned into, I'm coming with you, which I asked them both. They were both totally okay with that. And then the plan started to change because I thought, well, if we're gonna get over there, you might as well spend some time. And I asked them if I could have 2 weeks, and they said yes. And then I asked them if I could add some locations and keep it a secret, and they said yes. I think my mom's 2 requests were, do not take me into an active war zone, check, and do not take me somewhere where I have to squat to go to the bathroom. I was like, I think I can manage that. So yeah, they didn't know until the night before we left, and we went over to my sister's house and had dinner, and everybody had to guess where we were going. So we had a wonderful time, and now that we've gone, I can tell you guys where we went. So we started in Barcelona, which was my first time being there, and it was wonderful. We loved Barcelona. And then we went to Lisbon for a couple days, which I've been there once before, and I remember loving it, but obviously my memory was very inaccurate. There were things that we went to and I was like, this isn't how I remembered it. I mean, it's still good, but it was like, it's just funny how your memory stores things, and it's like, no, that's wrong. So that's fun. So we did Lisbon, and then we flew to Marrakesh and spent a few days in Marrakesh, which was magical. I loved it. And we actually celebrated my mom's birthday in Marrakesh. Then we went to Rome, and we did 1-day trip to Florence. The only day we got rain was Florence, and it rained. It was kind of like off and on throughout the morning. I can't really take credit for this because I had no idea it was going to rain when I planned this, but every time it started to pour was something. It was a time when we had either a meal, a reservation indoors, or we had a museum. And so it was actually perfect. The only thing we ended up cutting off, which I'm kind of sad, is in Florence, I love the Bobbly Gardens. I think they're gorgeous, and ironically, last time I went there, I think it was raining. But we just thought, I was like, if there's not shelter, if it starts pouring, we don't want to start the day getting drenched. And so we skipped that. But yeah, for the most part, for the first half of the day, anytime it was raining, we were inside. So it was actually perfect. Until the end of the day. And then that was one of the few regrets of this trip, is our train back home was pretty late, or back to Rome was pretty late. and we were all ready to leave because we were tired. Because you just like, when you're doing a day trip, you don't have like a home base, and so you're on your feet all day unless you're sitting down to eat. And we were all tired and it was pouring rain, which made the cobblestones so slippery. Thankfully nobody slipped and hurt themselves. But yeah, we were happy to get on the train and go back to Rome. So I did surprisingly little yarn shopping. Unless I just don't know, or I like didn't find it. I don't think there's a yarn shop in Rome. I didn't look for one in Florence because we were only there for a day. I didn't see any yarn in Marrakesh. I was actually looking because I'd seen pictures and I was like, maybe. So I did buy some in Barcelona, and I bought some in Portugal because, of course, Retrosaria is in Lisbon, and so we went there. But we were taking little flights from country to country, and they all had different rules for suitcases. And so unfortunately, the flight we took from Lisbon to Marrakesh was the most restrictive. So we could only have one checked bag, and it could only be 20 kilograms, and one small carry-on that had to fit under the seat. So I would have loved to buy a sweater quantity of yarn from Retrosaria, but it didn't happen. I had to be very judicious in what I bought, which was kind of killing me, but it's okay. I survived. I did figure like I can access that yarn fairly. They have an online shop, so it's not like the end of the world if I can't buy it there. It was nice to squish everything. So yeah, we had so much fun. We didn't have any travel problems, like no hiccups at all, which honestly shocked me. We had 8 flights in total. And the whole time we flew was during the government shutdown, and so all 3 of us were being so polite to all the TSA agents, like telling them we appreciated them and thank you so much for being here, and didn't have any problems. We had one very, very short delay, and I think it was in Atlanta because they had to temporarily evacuate the air traffic control tower. Somebody smelled a gas leak, I guess. But it delayed us like 20 minutes, and it didn't matter. So, all in all, we had a really good trip. We ate some really good food. We met some wonderful people. Like, we ran into so many nice people in every country. It was just like, it was so lovely. Like, just getting to meet lovely, lovely, wonderful people. But I did some knitting while we traveled. Before I do that, this is actually, I think, my most recent sweater FO. No. Oh! I'll have to show it next time. Let's say I finished my Nebula and wore it on the trip. I actually brought 2 sweaters with me, and I wore both of them. Although one of them, it only lasted about 30 minutes because it wasn't warm enough or cold enough for that sweater. But yeah, my Nebula I wore to dinner multiple times. And I also brought a dress that I had just finished sewing. Like, I think I sewed on the buttons the day before we left. And I don't have that with me either, so I'll have to show that next time. But this was my second to last FO, I think, or my sweater FO. This is the Classic by Espace Tricot, Melissa Clulo. Look at all the ribbing I did. Proud of my ribbing. So this is knit in the Lamb & Kid, Birdie, and Trio. And they're both in the Radish colorway, which I love. And this is one that I like played yarn chicken with. But like, these sleeves are just wonderful. It does mean I can't really wear it to work because I can't really push up my sleeve. And they're fairly, like, they're long. But I've worn this 3 times this week. Just because it's cozy. It's so soft and so cozy. I am a little worried about it, like, stretching. So for some reason this week I have worn fuzzy yarns with almost every sweater. I'm like looking at the pile. I really need to refold and put away my sweaters, but so I wore my curator sweater on Monday because it was like, when I left for work, it was in the 30s. Then I wore my Louvre, which was not fuzzy. I'm forgetting what else I wore, but I wore one that I forget even what pattern it was, but I knit it in double-stranded Surrey alpaca, and I love that sweater. It's very comfortable. I don't have any itch with it, but it's probably 2 years old at this point, and it has now stretched out so bad. Like the neckline is like gaping on it, which I kind of was hoping the silk would prevent that, but it really hasn't. So I'm not sure what to do with that one. I don't know if I like put it in a dryer for a little bit, if that would just felt the heck out of it. I don't know, but yeah, well, I'll have to see. Because right now it's like, it's kind of reached the status of like just wear it around the house because it looks so baggy on me. And there's a little bit of me that's afraid that's going to happen with this one. But honestly, this is one that I think that the baggier it gets, the more I might like it. So, and I did knit it a little bit cropped. I would stand up and show you, but I don't feel like it. And it just looks like the bottom of a sweater. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. Okay, you guys. So this trip, I decided to bring little things with me because, and actually I had a little bit of a crisis because I brought one project and I really didn't think I'd finish it. And I only brought the needles I needed for this project, and I only brought one cord. And then last minute I thought, just in case you buy some sock yarn, threw the sock needle in the bag. And I also brought yarn for my second project, but did not gauge swatch at all, and ended up didn't have the right size needle for it, and I was really bummed because it was a very monotonous. I finished it, I'll show it, but yeah, so I kind of had a moment. I think we were in Rome, and I was like trying to make the needles I had work, and they were not working. And thankfully I had bought sock yarn, and so I was able to cast on socks, but I was just like, what would have happened if I didn't have sock yarn? I would have been stranded with no knitting, and that would have been terrible, but socks saved the day. So note to future Chelsea, bring extra needle sizes than you think you'll need, so that in case you finish a project, you can start another one. So I finished my oldest niece's Christmas sweater. Okay, so I did measure her, because as I was knitting it, I was like, these sleeves are so long. Like, there's no way these sleeves are correct. And they were. She's got very long little arms. So I've got like my hair coming off of this. It's so cute. So this is the No Frills Junior by PetiteKnit. And I knit it out of Pearl Soho Good Wool. And I think this is Lily Pad. And I used 2 skeins, not even 2 skeins for this. I did knit the body a little longer. I think I did a 20-inch body, and then I think her sleeves were like 22. That can't be right. Maybe I did 17-inch sleeves. Sorry, my dog just, what are you doing, Lolly? Hold, please. I forgot I left my dog outside. I thought I had her inside, and I kept hearing like really bad sounds of like claws on the floor. And she's old, and I thought, oh my gosh, did she fall and she can't get up? No, she was scratching, so I would let her in. She's a little mad at me right now. What did I say? I think the thing I used not quite too. Oh, I was talking about the length. Yeah, so she's got really long little arms. I think actually 15 inches fit her arms perfectly right now. So I think what I did was I knit this to 15, and then this was like 2 inches, and I figured she can cuff them for now, but she's gonna grow. And I also made the body a little bit longer. I probably could have made the body even longer, but The sweater I knit her last year fits her perfectly this year. And so I didn't want to make the body too long, but this yarn is really nice. Honestly, it doesn't feel that fantastic when you're knitting with it. Like, it's not bad, but it doesn't feel like, it feels a little bit, I don't want to say toothy, but like just a little bit rough. But once you wash it, it's so nice. So I don't think she'll have any sensitivity issues with this. And like, look at it just folds up so cute. So she's the niece who wanted everything in green, but wanted them all to be different greens. So she also told me what kind of scarf she wanted. And now that I'm looking at these in scale, it's hilarious. But she wanted a rectangle garter scarf, which is the most boring thing you can knit. This is literally what I started with when I learned to knit. I'm a little bit better now, but I knit this out of Pearl Soho, I think Widgeon in golden green. I made it 64 inches long. It fits me, which is probably going to be excessive for a 7-year-old, but I think it'll look fun. I am going to put little tassels on the end. I actually don't know how to do tassels. I've done them before, but it's been a while. And I think because I used up every scrap of this yarn, I am going to make the tassels, I think, purple. Because I think, like, I have this yarn. I actually think that would be really cute. And little tassels in this. So, this is almost done. So I used Widgeon. I used exactly 2 balls. I held it double. I used a US 8. There was no pattern. I actually forgot how, oh shoot, I was gonna do the same thing for the little one. I think I cast on 26 stitches, and then I did a 2-stitch I-cord on either end. So I just slipped the last 2 with the yarn in front, knit, slip the next 2 with the yarn, or last 2 with the yarn in front on each end. And I think it gave it a nice little finish. So I haven't blocked this because honestly, I don't think it needs it. But I really like having I-cords on the edge, because then when you change your ball of yarn, you just weave it up the end and it's like invisible. So these do not match in the least, but this was what she wanted. So she's also going to get mittens and a hat, and they will be in different greens. I think her hat might be this green, but I haven't 100% decided yet. I know she wanted a dark green for something. So the goal is to finish the hat or the sweater and the scarf for both girls in the next few weeks. And then I can start working on the hats and the mittens, because those are less, like, I can finish those so fast that it won't, like, having this still to do in December would have given me anxiety. So the half of her stuff is done. Let me put it down here. So the sweater I finished on the trip, the scarf I finished the first week back, but I also started a pair of socks while I was overseas, and I literally finished the second pair last night, and I put it on my blockers, hung it up, put a fan on it, and it's already dry, so that's great. So these are I'm calling these my Lisbon socks. So the yarn is Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. It's the Mondium. And I don't remember the colorway, but it was one of her colorways. It wasn't a La Bien-Aimée one. I just thought this color looks like a lot of the buildings in Lisbon. Like in the main square, all the buildings around it are this yellow. And so I just thought this was a good souvenir yarn. These are very, like, this Mondium is quite a dense sock yarn, I think. And so it makes really squishy socks. They are definitely workhorse socks. Like, I don't think I would want this yarn in a hat. I think I would find this a little bit rough. I think I obviously haven't knit with all the Portuguese wool out there. Not like a connoisseur of Portuguese wool. But in my experience, Portuguese wool is a little bit more rustic. But I think for socks, that is perfect. So I have a new pair of socks. The socks that I have been having in my purse have been looking at me like, hey. I'm like, I need to get working on those because I'm about to get to the heel on the second one. So I'm so close to finishing those socks too. And actually, because I knit these so fast, it got me thinking, like, how quickly could I knit a pair of socks if I like made it my main project? And so I think once I finish, maybe, I don't know. The problem is, like, I find socks kind of boring. And so I don't really, oh man, sorry, my hip is really tight. Oh, that kind of hurt. I put my leg up over my knee and, boy, do some stretching. Sorry, tangent. I find socks boring. Oh, there's a lolly dog. I guess she's talking to me now, sort of. I find socks boring. I find many other things I want to do with my time. I also have a drawer in the dresser over this way that I keep all my socks in, and I can probably fit 10 more pairs, and it is full, which is cool. But now I'm kind of like, well, I mean, they're all still in good condition. I don't really know what to do when I fill it up. I mean, I think I could probably do like double layers tall in that drawer. I don't know, but it's a cool problem to have, I guess. But yeah, so those are all my FOs. And then I have one whip that I literally started last night once I finished that sock. And it is the sweater for niece number 2. She's not number 2, she's the youngest niece. She requested a rainbow sweater. And right now it's very much in the candy corn phase. So this is second niece's sweater. The orange and the red are just so close that it's actually kind of hard to see them apart, which I don't love, but it is what it is. So this is another PetiteKnit pattern. This was the Celeste sweater junior. Sorry. Just heard a really weird sound outside. I'm a squirrel today. Celeste sweater junior, obviously without the color work. So I'm just doing stripes. I'm doing 6-inch stripes. And so the first, let's see, I brought my little tags. So this is all Purl Soho knitting yarn. Where did my tags go? There they are. So the white one, I think was heirloom white. Yeah, the heirloom white. And then I used red geranium. And then the tiger lily was the orange, I think. And lemon drop is the yellow. So it is quite the yellow. I was kind of debating on my green because I don't love this green for this project, and I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't buy a green in the knitting yarn. But then at the same time, I just don't want to spend more money on this, especially because I am barely using any of these. So I had this green. It's Sandisgarn Smart. So I think this is the green, and then I have this, which is Bright Jade, which will be the next color, and then my blue is Flax Flower Blue, and then the last color is Chive Blossom. So these will be all the cool tones. And I'm doing it so that hopefully I'll get at least 2 stripes in each color. So I was gonna do them in like big color block, but I just thought, like, if I did it that way, then like the sleeves wouldn't get some of the other colors. So I don't know. I just like, I think it's a little bit more colorful if there's shorter stripes. So this is literally not even 3 hours of work, 2 hours of work. So it goes really fast. I am knitting it on 1 needle size smaller because I swatched it. I don't have my swatch with me. I swatched it. She has you do it on US 7 and my gauge was too big. So I went down to a 6 and I like it. So I think the fabric is better too. So this yarn, I'm gonna have so much left over. So I think what I'm actually gonna do with some of this extra, so her scarf is gonna be out of this, and her hat and her mittens are gonna be out of all this. because I'm not buying more yarn. I'm just not. But where was my brain going with this? Oh, I think I'm gonna make myself a hot water bottle cover with this, because it's gotten to the point, like, I don't like to overheat my house. I think I've said this before. I prefer my house to be cooler in the winter. I just figured that way I get to wear all my woolies. So I usually, like, the maximum I will heat my house to is 69. And this week I actually refused to turn the heater on until it got to the 30s overnight. So I like woke up one morning and my house was at 63. It's like, time for the heater. Oh, I think that weird sound I was hearing was our tornado sirens. It is noon. Oh, it's probably the ones in the distance, which means maybe the ones closer are about to start, because it's just now noon. So if you are new here, Oklahoma is a hotbed for tornadoes. We are not in tornadoes. We're kind of in our secondary tornado season right now. But usually the bad tornadoes are in the spring. You can get some in the fall, but usually they're not as bad. But just to make sure that our tornado sirens work, yep, there goes. Every Saturday at noon, they test the sirens. So you probably, I don't know if you'll hear it. I don't know if my phone picks this up or not. But if this one hears it, she'll start howling. I don't know, she seems pretty tired. Okay, they're not too loud, so I'm gonna keep going. There's one closer, so it will probably get louder. It's kind of funny that we still have these, to be honest, because, well, I take that back, it's not funny. Everybody has it on their phones, and so you get an alert on your phone, it like blares no matter what time of day it is. It's so loud. But these go off when there's an actual tornado on the ground. And so that's a way that if you're not like next to like the weatherman, like you're not watching the weather, that's your sign that like, okay, this is bad. That being said, if you're like, people who are like born and raised in Oklahoma have like no fear of tornadoes. Like they'll be out gardening and they're like, yeah, the wind's not blowing, I'm good. You're like, I was not born, or I was raised here a little bit, but I have a very healthy fear of tornadoes. So I have a tornado shelter and we do not mess around. Sorry, I got very sidetracked from knitting. So this is my only whip right now. My goal is to sit and watch some YouTube today and finish the body of this. I don't know if that's doable, but that's what I'm gonna try to do, is get through the body of this, and then like over the weekend. So I'm recording this on Saturday. So over Saturday and Sunday, finish the body, and then next week finish the sleeves, and then work on her scarf. And I would like to be done with that scarf by the end of next week. Because the scarf is gonna be so boring. Honestly, it is just garter stitch. That's it. There are a bunch of people very dressed up walking through my neighborhood. Okay, they're coming to my neighbor's house. This is gonna be great. I hope they can't see in my window. No, they can't. Okay, good. Or they didn't, at least. I'm really hoping they're not walking door to door. It looks like they are, which means they're gonna ring my doorbell, which means my dog's gonna freak out. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that's the goal, is to be done with these as quickly as I can. And then move on to the next thing. I'm just gonna wait, because once these ladies walk over here and ring on my doorbell, it's gonna be chaos. Okay. I have some yarn acquisitions, and then I have a sampling of some of the things I bought on my vacation. I'm obviously not going to show you guys everything because I lost my mind and I shopped a lot. But I was gonna bring up some of the like high points from the different places I went, along with the yarn. And then I also found my perfect carry-on. And so I feel the need to tell people about it. Okay, so the ladies are gone. We're gonna see neighborhood watch here. If they're going, oh, no. Okay, they're walking away. Cool, we don't have to hold. So yeah, I found my perfect carry-on, and I feel like I need to tell everybody about it because I've been on the search for the perfect carry-on for so long. And I'm just absolutely pumped that I found it. So I'll tell you guys about that at the end. Let's talk about yarn. So I'm trying to remember where I went first. So let's actually talk about this one first, because I haven't been talking about these a whole lot. So realizing I don't actually understand the reference. So I'm in the Little Fox Yarns Wes Anderson sock club. I think I get at least one more. Oh, I get 2 more because this is October. So every month you get a sock set, but you also get a little acrylic stitch marker. And I am a huge Wes Anderson fan. I'm obviously not the biggest fan because the movie that this one references I've only seen once. And when we got the stitch marker, I did not get the reference. I still don't, if I'm honest, get the reference. So I need to watch it again, obviously. But this is Mount Rushmore. Is it Mount Rushmore? It's just Rushmore, sorry. Let's show you how much I know this one. I've guessed every other one. I've gotten every other month but this one. And I feel like we have 2 more left, and I don't know what they're going to be. So maybe I need to do a little Wes Anderson marathon, but cute. I'll put them over there. So the first place we went to, I think, yeah, we went to 2 shops in Barcelona. I cannot remember what the second one was called. Uh-oh. Shoot, I don't remember what it's called. If I find it, I'll put it like in the description box. But the first one I went to, actually I think this was the second one we went to. Whatever. It was one called All You Knit Is Love. And they have a cute little sign out front that said like, don't get a boring souvenir, bring back yarn. So it was a tiny shop, and they really didn't have a huge selection. So, and a lot of what they had was cotton, which I wasn't really looking for any cotton. I actually found that everywhere we went, except for Petrosaria, is that there's just a lot of cotton, which I get. It's a warm climate. That makes sense, but that's not what I wanted. So what I ended up getting was this. So this is 20% yak, 60% merino, 20% silk. It's 212 meters and 100 grams, and the colorway is Eat Your Broccoli. And this is actually a hand dyed. I just really like the like steely gray with the little flecks of greeny brown in there. And I assume this is the silk that makes it like kind of, it definitely makes it shiny, but also kind of like, it's really soft, like incredibly soft. So I think this is going to be a hat. I think this would be a really cute hat. So that's the first thing I got. And then at the same shop, this was not labeled. I don't actually remember the details on it, but it's a lace weight linen. So I got 2 skeins of this. So yeah, it is like very, very fine linen. I don't know if you can see that. Get my face out of the way. And this really pretty dark plum colorway. So I think it was like 900 meters per skein or something like that. Might have been 600. It's over 500. But I figured I could like double strand this and hold it and make like a Sophie shawl or some of those cute little scarves. I thought that'd be cute. So that was the first place we went to in Barcelona, or the second place. I don't remember. The other place we went to was very, it was bigger. It was still small, but it was bigger. They had a lot of Cadia yarn, and there was one other brand. Was this one? No. They had another brand, but they had a couple brands they had a lot of. They also had stuff for like macrame. They had a lot of samples, which was cool, and buttons and things like that. So it was a cute shop. But a lot of the stuff they had was cotton. And so, and they also had a lot of, synthetic as well, or like blends with synthetic. And so I ended up buying this, which is not even, Spanish, it's Italian, but it is, I think it's 150 meters. Yeah, 150 meters, 50 grams. And it is, what is it? 100% new wool, fine merino. So I got 2 of these. They're super soft. They've kind of they've been shoved in suitcases. But it's super, super soft. And I thought it was just a good neutral. This was the first place we went into because I remember like really debating. The other one I got was from Barcelona, or from Spain, I believe. I actually don't know that for sure. So this one is kind of confusing, honestly. But this I just thought was really pretty. So it's a very interesting blend. It's 35% mohair, 35% superfine alpaca, and 30% PA, which I'm assuming is like polyester or something, or acrylic, I don't know. But I thought it was a fun color. It's a nice way of packaging it. And I kind of thought I could hold these 2 together and make like a pinkish gray hat. I don't know, or beige hat. So we'll see. It's lace weight. It's like a solid. I think it's like 450 meters and 50 grams. So there's a lot in there. And I just thought the color was fun. So I got those 2. That's all I got in Barcelona, y'all. I was restrained. The last bit of yarn I bought, honestly, you guys should just be so impressed with me and my restraint. I wasn't restrained in other things, restrained in other things, but as far as yarn purchases, I bought very little. So I already showed you the socks I made with the Mondium I bought, but I also got a couple skein or balls of Vovo in this really pretty burgundy. I kind of had a theme going, like, I don't know what these are going to be, but I felt like the maximum I could carry and like squish in my suitcase. I literally had to sit on my suitcase to close it. I've never had to do that before. So I got that, and then I got this really cute bag, little drawstring bag to put my stuff in. I just thought that was adorable. It does kind of look like she needs to shave her legs. But yeah, so this is what I was carrying it all in. I think it's very cute, kind of Halloween colors. So very cute. That is all the yarn I bought. That's it. So I am going to talk about some other purchases. Just some samples. Sample purchases. Obviously, again, it's not everything. But let's start with the big one. And this one was just amazing in so many ways. So when we were in Lisbon, we were walking in the old town, and they had these stores, which I don't have the tag for the store, but they had a few, like, it looked like a local chain. Like, there were multiple of the store, and each one was a little different, but we were just kind of meandering. We had a flight at like 7 p.m. But we pretty much had no plans for the day. So I made my parents walk up a bunch of hills to go to my favorite little pastry shop that had the pastéis de nata. I could eat my weight in those. We got there early and they were still warm. Oh, so good. But yeah, we saw this little store and just decided to go in, and the lady working there was so sweet And so I ended up buying 2 blankets, and they shipped them home. And she asked me, like, what date are you flying home? And I told her, she said, okay, I can't ship it until that date. I'm like, okay, fine. So we got home on Friday last week. It arrived on Monday. So I'm pretty sure they actually shipped it before that date. But I got 2 blankets. They are both 100% wool, Portuguese wool. So the wool is actually, like, the sheep are grown in Portugal. They're sheared in Portugal. The yarn is dyed in Portugal. Like, everything is in Portugal. And it's on a mechanical loom is what she said, but it's an ancient mechanical loom. I don't know about that, but look how beautiful this is. I'm just gonna, it's so pretty. And it is like, so this is the big one. This one is like double bed sized. It's huge. And like the little fringe. I think actually on one of them, I think I forgot to take the tag off. Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce this, but that is the shop if you're interested. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah. And like, that's the back side of it. So my bedroom is green, and I just thought this would be a good color for my bedroom. The day it arrived was so cold, so I like immediately, I haven't even taken the tag off because I forgot. But it's been on my bed all week, and it's just so warm and so nice. So I got that. Oof. But then I also got a smaller one that is not folded because I've been using it. So I got this one for my couch. So this is kind of a throw blanket size. It's a big throw blanket, but let me fold it up a little bit so you can see it better. Oof. So this one is a little bit like tweedy. I don't know if you can see that. So it's got like little flecks of color in there, and you know, obviously it's reversible too. So this is the reverse side, which I kind of like as well. So this is a fairly, like, I think if you weren't a knitter, you probably wouldn't appreciate this because they aren't soft. I mean, they're soft, but they're like, they've got a little bit of a scratchiness to them. If you were like super sensitive to wool, you probably would not like this. I love it. I also got 2 pillow covers. They're downstairs. So the way they have these all stored in the shop is it's just all stacked on top of each other, which does present some like hurdles, some logistical issues when you want to look at something that's at the bottom of the stack. Thankfully with the blankets, they're pretty, like you can see the pattern quite well. So I didn't need to do that with the blankets. But with the cushion covers, they're thin, and so they're just like stacked like 100 deep. So that was interesting. And that was actually the first thing I picked out was cushion covers, because I thought I can easily fit this in my suitcase, sort of. And I had 2 different colors picked out that I liked, and then last minute I changed my mind and I switched to something else. And I didn't really think it through too well because it doesn't match my living room at all. So they're also just a margin too small for my pillows. So they're the envelope kinds, and so the back just kind of gapes a little bit, which isn't a big deal. And I bet they'll kind of stretch over time because they're cotton. The ones, they had wool ones, but I got the cotton ones. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I may move them up here to probably not to my bedroom, but maybe to the guest room or something. I don't know. But I don't think they're gonna work downstairs, but they're really cute. Okay, let me show you the other thing we got in Portugal. There was a little street vendor, I think this is a designer, who was selling these adorable little bags. So she's selling other things too. Oh, I left it downstairs, dang it. I bought a little fish because Portugal is big on fish, but it's like stuffed with lavender and smells really good, and it's got cute prints on either side. So I've been putting it in my knitting bags. But I thought this was like the perfect little sock bag. And everyone was a little bit different because the fabric is all, I believe it's also woven. And so depending on where it gets cut, each bag looks a little different. So I got this one, and then I got my mom one that has, it's more like a little bucket bag with handles on it, and it like perfectly fits. She was working on her ooey gooey, which she calls her oogly googly. So now I have a hard time remembering that it's not the oogly googly. But hers fit perfectly in her little bag, and so that's how she was toting it around. But like, it even has a little zipper in here. You can put your notions. It's just, and it zips up, and it's got the little wristlet. It's really cute. I like this. So it was used to store all the breakables, like small breakables, in my suitcase. So I haven't really used it for knitting yet. Okay. I think I might have a few more. So there was a place, I believe this was Portugal too, that I'd read about in the past, but when I don't think I ever went there. And this time, again, we didn't really have a lot of plans in Portugal. We only had 2 days there, but we didn't have any hard plans. And so we were just kind of wandering around, and there's a glove shop in Portugal that's been there for 100 years. The store itself is minuscule, like tiny. There's room for 2 people on the customer side of the counter, and maybe 2 people on the employee side. And that's it. And everything else is a storeroom. So they have gloves that are pre-made in Portugal. And so this is what it's called. And you go in, and they have lots of gloves displayed in the cabinet. And so you tell the lady which one you like. She looks at your hands, and then she brings them out, and like, you get fitted to the glove. I have big girl hands, always have. And we had been walking a lot, and my hands swell. Like, when you're walking with your hands down at your side, mine just swell a little bit. So they were a little bigger than normal. But I told her what I wanted. This lady was hilarious. Honestly, I mostly bought the gloves because of her. But she looks at my hands and she goes, "No, you can't have that." And I was like, "Oh," and she goes, "Your hands are too big." Like, oh, okay. So they only had 2, actually they ended up only having 1 size in stock that would fit my hands. And these really don't actually fit that well. Oh, I forgot to cut the little tag, dang it. So this is what I got. I'm gonna try to put them on, but these are quite snug. So the lady, stretches them out. You put your elbow on a little cushion, and she pulls them down over your hand and like make sure everything fits perfectly. And actually these do fit, but I think my hand was just swollen that day. I did pick the wrong side to put this on because it's got my watch, but so yeah, this is my glove. This actually fits way better today. I think it's because it's cooler outside, but yeah, they're a little cute. They got a little snap on them. Cute little gloves. Yeah, I just thought they weren't as expensive as I thought they would be, honestly, for handmade leather gloves. And they're like butter soft. They're so nice. The color was not exactly what I was going for. I didn't really want a two-toned, but literally this was the only one they had in my size. But she was just really funny. She was like, kind of felt like your grandma that was like, so I think when I like first put my elbow on the cushion, I kind of leaned back a little bit, and she goes, "Why are you running away from me? Don't run away from me." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And my mom was in there with me, and she was just like, "Why did your daughter run away from people?" I was like, "Jeez." But she was so sweet. And there was a couple in there before me that both got gloves, and he had a pair kind of similar with like the little part here. And she was telling him, she's like, "When you put on your glove, you're going to want to pull." And she slapped his hand. She goes, "Do not pull." She was like, "That is the weakest part of the glove." So she's like, "You pull here and you pull here and you push on the fingers, but you do not pull that part." And I loved her. She was so sweet. So got a cute pair of leather gloves and a nice little silk bag for it. But then when we were in Florence, I saw another glove shop and they had a lot of options, like different things and lots of pretty colors. And my mom was like, they're not going to be as nice as, like, they're not going to be the same. Like, they can't beat that lady. And I was like, you know, there's no line. I'm just going to go in there. There was one other customer in there that was being helped by another lady. And she was like, the lady was like deciding between two gloves. And she goes, you have 2 pairs of shoes. Get 2 pairs of gloves. I was like, that is a good argument. I like that. So they had a lot more in stock that fit me, which was nice. So I got 2 pairs because, you know, I have more pairs of shoes. Why not gloves? So I got this really pretty one. It's navy leather. Let me find the... So this was the same deal where they like had you put your elbow on the little cushion. Oh, these actually feel tighter. I haven't put these on in a minute because I was wearing the other set. So I got... Sorry guys, these actually feel a little bit more snug than I remember them, which is kind of funny. So yeah, so that's the first pair I got. Navy leather, cute. They don't feel quite as well made as the other pair, but they're still really nice. And they were comparably priced, so like, and the ladies were actually quite delightful. I really enjoyed them. But the one I'm really excited about are suede. And they're cashmere lined, which makes them incredibly soft and comfy and warm. Man, this is so funny. These are so much more snug than I remember the other pair being. I remember the first pair being so tight, but I don't know what, I mean, it's my hand, so congratulations, y'all are just seeing a lot of pictures of my hand. But yeah, cashmere lined, they're so lovely. And she said they'll kind of like, because they're suede, they'll patina over time. And so they'll get like a little bit darker, which is just, I think, really sweet. So yeah, it's like got all that. Oh, so these are some of the purchases I'm actually most excited about because as it gets cold, I now have 3 pairs of leather gloves that I can choose from. So that's kind of fun. Okay, that's it for Portugal and Italy. The next 2 things are from Morocco. When we were in Morocco, man, we had such a good time. We had a driver pick us up from the airport that our hotel arranged, or we are actually staying in Riyadh. It's called El Fen. It's so cute. I loved it. It's like in a perfect location. It's actually in the Medina. It's so beautiful. Like everywhere you look, this hotel is gorgeous. You don't lock your doors when you leave, which is kind of wild. And they told us that. They said like there's a little sliding lock that just keeps the door shut, but there's not actually a lock on it. And she said, we're considering you part of our family now. We don't lock doors. If you do want a lock, we'll give you one, but like you don't need it. And we never did. You lock it from the inside when you sleep. But yeah, it was just so pretty. But even our driver who like picked us up at the airport was giving us a history lesson as we drove through the Medina and whatnot, which was really sweet. Sorry. Oh gosh, Lolly just farted. And that's not nice. Golly. It's like burning rubber in this room right now. Oh, gross. Okay. Anyway, so we had a private guided tour the first full day we were there. Our guide, his name was Syed. He was so sweet. It was lovely. It was a little hectic because it was a really busy day and he wasn't a fast walker, but he was not slow and he knew where he was going. And so he's like weaving through people and we're just like, trying to keep up with him. And he would have to kind of stop and wait for us to catch up frequently. But yeah, he gave us a tour, showed us all around the souks. And I told him up front, like one of my goals is to buy a rug on this trip. And so he made sure and took us to a really good rug shop. I did buy a couple rugs. I got a bigger one and a smaller one. They aren't here yet and I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see. They were sent DHL, she said, and usually DHL will text me once something is shipped. So I still have their contact information. So worst case scenario, I can like reach out and figure out what's going on. But we did that. And then, so I just spent a ton of money to rug shop. And then he took us to a little like metal, I don't know what you call it. Like they had lamps and plates and everything. And I felt bad for that guy because I was like, well, I just spent all my fun money on rugs. But I did get some cute little silverware. I got a little soap dish. I got a cute little, I'm using it to put candles on, but it's a little silver or like gold plate. And then this one, I think it's supposed to be a pill box, but I just thought it was really cute. But I thought I could put little notions in there, you know, as one does. So it's a little bitty notion, like stitch marker thing. So yeah, we did that. And then, the next day was my mom's birthday. So I already posted this about this on Instagram, but in case you're not on there, I made my mom get up at 5 a.m. on her birthday, and we had a driver drive us out. Actually, it was not the most comfortable drive because they had already picked another guest up, and so she was in the front, like the passenger seat, and it was like a Ford Explorer. And so my parents and I like all crammed into the back and drove for 45 minutes into the desert. And we took a hot air balloon ride. And it was actually really interesting because the pilot of the hot air balloon was German. And he and I got talking, and turns out there's actually a connection to Oklahoma City. So his uncle, actually he passed away a couple of years ago. He's a pretty prominent man in Oklahoma City that is actually affiliated with my work, which is really cool. So small world, but he was hilarious. His playlist was at times questionable, but other times it was kind of funny. So like they played Here Comes the Sun right when the sun came up over the horizon. But there were some others that you're like, okay. But it was really enjoyable. Very, very peaceful. I'd never taken a hot air balloon before, and it was massive. Like, it makes sense, but it was massive. I don't think I expected that. But we were in very good hands. They were excellent. It was him and his son, and they were both excellent pilots. So, that was really fun. Then we got a breakfast afterward, and they took us back to our hotel. Then we did a hammam, which, if you're not familiar with that, and I wasn't before this trip, I was not adequately prepared. So I had read online to wear a bathing suit. So it's essentially you go and you get this soap put on you called black soap that kind of softens your skin, and then you get scrubbed to within an inch of your life, and then you get like moisturized after that, and you do it in like a bathhouse kind of thing. And we had booked private hammams, which I'm very grateful for because I am just not that cool with nudity. The very sweet lady who did my hammam, I walked in my bathing suit and my robe, my hotel robe, and she looks at me and she goes, off. I was like, no, it's a swimsuit. And she goes, off. I was like, okay, cool. And she gave me like a little paper thong. I was like, awesome. Okay, cool. We're just gonna do it. And so we did. And it was actually great. I lost about 3 layers of skin, but I came out feeling so good. There's definitely parts of it that are just kind of like, what did I do? So like, I get in there, I lay down on this bench naked, and she just douses you with water. It's warm, thankfully. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting wet. And then lathers you up with soap everywhere. And then leaves you for 15 minutes. And so I was just laid in there. It was very warm, so that I was comfortable in that regard. But it was like, okay, cool. But honestly, what's funny is like it was awkward at first, but when she came back in after that 15 minutes, I think I actually had relaxed, and I was just kind of like, whatever. Douse me with water again. I don't care. So it was kind of fun. And then we went to dinner at a place my hotel recommended, or the Riyadh recommended. And I probably should have been more clear on the type of place we wanted to go to. Because this wasn't it. So it was very vibrant. I will absolutely give it that. The food was very good. But we walked in and it was loud. Very, very loud. They had some musicians playing pretty close to where we were seated. And so it's not, okay, it's the musicians, whatever. And they would like take breaks every once in a while. So it's like, okay, now we can talk. And then they brought our food out and then they turned the lights off and then the volume doubled and the dancers came out. And I was like, okay, cool. There were these ladies that were dancing with like candelabras on their heads, which was cool. And then belly dancers. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so I was just sitting there watching it. Like, I can't see my food, so it's fine. And then guests started shoving dollars in their money in their bras. And I was like, oh, is that kind of show? And then they started getting guests to dance with them. And I was like, hard no. Like, I don't like being the center of attention. I especially do not want to be pulled up to dance in front of other people. Like, And so I was like, I will find my food. And so I got my like fork and knife and just buried my head and was like trying to like make myself as unappealing of a dance partner as possible. And thankfully they didn't ask any of us to dance. I would have been mortified. I would have made for a great story, but it's not what I wanted. So we all kind of ate our food, which again, the food was great. I couldn't really see what I was eating. I got chicken tagine and it was fantastic. But we were kind of like, once the dancers finished, like they danced for like 45 minutes or something. It was so long. Like you'd think they were done and then they do an encore. And they were just like moving throughout the tables. Yeah. And so once we finished our meal, like our dinner entree, we were like, we don't need dessert. We'll leave. Yeah, it was, and honestly, when we were standing out waiting for our taxi, there were so many more people coming in. So it was like, this was just the beginning of the evening for them. It was wild, but it was an experience. But yeah, and then the last day we all just kind of wandered around the Medina. The last day we were there, it was so hot. Like it was in the 80s and it was just, you're in the desert. It's just warm. And it was actually more humid than I expected. I figured it'd be dry heat, but in the city, I think it was actually a little bit humid. It was just humid. It was kind of gross. So while we were walking through the souks, I had some money to burn, some dirhams in my pocket. And so I got this cute fan. So it's surprisingly effective. My mom got one too. This cost me 150 dirhams, so $15. It was worth it. I would like to actually get something like this that's longer and make a ceiling fan with these. How cool would that be? I need to make that happen at some point in my life, but I don't think I will need this in the next several months because, all right, I hope I'm not like blowing air at the camera. Didn't think about that. But yeah, it was just fun. I got some art. We went to what did she call herself? It's like an herbalist, and got some argan oil and some spices and some tea. What else did we do? We did all kinds of fun stuff. And then, yeah, it was just, it's just fun. And we have AT&T and we have an international plan. And what we found was that our service worked great over there. And so one of my fears was I was going to get lost in the souks, which I think is part of the experience. But because we had Google Maps and cell service, we never got lost. Like it always knew where you were. So it was totally fine. But yeah, people there were lovely. The food was good. Our Riyadh was amazing. And yeah, oh, okay. So that's all my purchases. My dog's having a dream right now. She thinks she's running. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys about my favorite carry-on of all time, and then that's all I have to talk about. I bought this a week or two before the trip. So this is a backpack from Lululemon. I believe this is the triple zip. So, things I love about this. It's a backpack, but it's not like a super big backpack, and it's very minimalist. I don't like them when they have like lots of pockets and things. And so it has two side pockets that actually perfectly fit my water bottle. It has a laptop sleeve in the back that I put like my Kindle. I didn't bring my laptop, but that's nice. The middle zip is the main compartment. So it's got a zipper compartment. This is where I kept my passport, my spare phone, my car keys, that kind of stuff, because you could just zip it up and it was interior. And then I kept things like my readers, I kept my inhaler, like things that I wanted to be able to access, but didn't like, I don't know. I also had a crossbody that I wore. And then that is it, which I actually really appreciate, but it holds so much. So on the way out, I had a change of clothes, an extra pair of shoes, all my charging cables, my knitting, my toiletries, my Kindle, my extra phone, like all of that in here, and it really didn't feel bulky. So there's that. Then there's this little front pocket, which is smaller, and it has a key leash. I just learned those were called leashes. So that's good. You can put, because that's one thing that I actually had happen on a trip one time. I realized I accidentally put my house keys in my checked bag because I didn't need it in my carry-on and I was afraid I'd lose it. But then I was worried, like, what if they lose my bag? Then I can't get in my house. So this way, you just put it on there at the beginning of the trip and you know where it is at the end. But I would keep things like hand cream, lip gloss, that kind of stuff, because it was just right there and I could access it super easy. And then there is a pocket down here. I didn't really use this at all because once the bag was full, it was a little hard to get in that. And then the last part of this that's amazing is it has, well, there's two parts, I guess. Has a luggage or trolley strap. It is a little tight, but I was able to get it on my suitcase even when this thing was totally full. And then I guess the last bit is it does have a adjustable strap here because it was sliding down my shoulders a little bit, so it held it up and just made it more comfortable. So it literally has everything I want in a carry-on, plus it keeps my hands free. Now, the reason I haven't used backpacks before is because if you need to get into them, you have to like take it off and get in, and that annoys me. But my solution was that I had a crossbody that I put like my phone, my wallet, my passport, all of that in there, and then I wore that underneath this. And so I had everything I needed right here, and then for the airplane I had it all in there. And what I found was, like, when it was time to board, like the one flight where we could only have one thing under the seat, I just like opened this, shoved my crossbody in there, and we're good. And I always had extra room in this thing. It also got very full, and like on the way home I had one place we went, one of the things I actually regret buying, I think it was in Portugal, was there was a place that sold like jams and chutneys and tomato paste, olive paste, all these things in these tubes. And they tricked me, not really. They convinced me, they sold me on buying 6 of them, which is, I don't need 6 of them, but I bought 6 of them. I had those in here. I had a bunch of chocolate bars in here. I had a whole bag of peanut M&Ms that I forgot I bought. I had a change of clothes. I had a bowl that I bought in Morocco. I had my knitting. I had all of it in here. So it's like freaking heavy. But because these things are so cushioned, it didn't feel that heavy. Like, it felt fine. So Lululemon triple zip. They have it in a couple colors. And at last I looked, it was actually on sale. Like, it was like $60, I think. So there's my, I'm not sponsored by Lululemon. If they want to, I would love that, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So, okay. That is all I have for today. Now I gotta like clean all this stuff up, and then watch some podcasts and keep knitting. I think I'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't have any more trips the rest of the year. I'm out of PTO, so I actually went negative on PTO on this trip, which means I did my math wrong. So that's fun. But yeah, so no trips the rest of the year. I was thinking about this morning. I think normally in December, I'm not doing Vlogmas. I love y'all, but no, I have a day job. I have no intention of, honestly, I think it would be so boring if I filmed every single day. So we're not going to do that. But, sorry, I'm really confused at what's going on in my neighborhood right now. Slightly distracted. Okay. But yeah, I normally would do 1 video a week. Excuse me. So if that's something you guys want, let me know. Otherwise I'll probably just do every 2 weeks unless I'm just feeling it. I just don't know if I knit fast enough for every week, but, yeah, I hope you guys have a good 2 weeks. I hope you're getting good weather. I'm a little bit sad because next week we're supposed to get back up into the 70s, and I want us to be down in the colds, because then I can wear all my knitwear. I wore sweaters to work all week, and it was wonderful. Sorry, giving a little side eye to a sketchy truck. But yeah, wore sweaters all week. It is so cozy. It's my favorite time, and I just want it to last. So anyway, this has been a very rambly one, so apologies for that, if you're still here. But I will see you guys back in 2 weeks. Have a good week. I hope you get lots of time for knitting or whatever your craft is. I hope you get time with people you love and time to move your body. I'll see you guys back in 2 weeks. Bye.